The second part, like the first part is the solving equations, clearing fractions, decimals, and solving for a variable. Okay. Now we're getting into functions. So just a second. So you have to either use your calculator trick or plug it in. So there's a little note right here. I would make sure you know this. Understanding you know how to read it. F of -3 means -3 is your input and you plug it into for X. So what's inside the parentheses is what you're plugging in. If it's outside the parentheses here, f of x equals -3, that means your whole function is equal to a -3. So you're going to plug into y. So this first set, I'm going to show plugging in. Stop the talking. Your g sub x is like y. So this is what I'm saying in how I would write it. I'm putting wherever the x is that parentheses so I can show the substitution or the plugging in. I'm going to get there. Just give me a second. So I'm going to show the substitution here, but I'm also going to show the calculator trick. So it's -3 parentheses, then +1. What am I plugging into the parentheses? What's our value of x here? Yeah, what's in the parentheses? That's all you got to do. Read it. This 10 represents the x. So that is what you're putting inside the parentheses. And then you can just do order of operation, or you can type this in. This would end up turning to a -30 plus 1. So our answer is -29. Or I can use your calculator and go to y equals. So if you go to y equals in your calculator, I have to clear out what I have. We're doing -3x plus 1. Type that in. Then hit second graph to look at your table. And then we have to go to the x equals 10. So I have to scroll down, find where x is 10, and there's your answer. Yeah. Equals -29. Yeah, so we can do that for the next one, for the f of 3. We have to use this equation, x squared plus 7, for f of 3. So I do want you to physically do these because you can use your calculator to get to your answer, but on your assessments, just like STAR, just like anything else, I cannot help you using your calculator. I'm showing you now so that you know how to do it. But on the test tomorrow, I will not be able to help you. So you need to practice the skill, practice using the calculator now in class. So if you don't know how to do the x squared, I will review that with you. Yeah, you hit the x and then you have to hit the x squared over here by the 7 and the log. So we have x squared, what was it, plus 7. Excuse me, plus 7. Put that in the calculator. Now where do we go? You hit the second button, the graph button, and where do I go to get my answer? 3. You go down, find where x equals 3. Got 9? Oh, I didn't put plus 7. Okay. Yeah, that answer is 16. So you can put just your answer, and you can just put GC for graphing calculator to show your work. If you're using the graphing calculator to get an answer, just put GC. Okay? All right, so let's try h of -2. When h of x, right here, says is 12 over x. 12 divided by x. Yes, go to y equals. I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to do 12. You can, but it's going to show both. Oh. Yeah. So 12 divided by x. The second graph, we need to find for h of a -2. So now I have to scroll up till I get to that negative. Yeah, because you can't have 0 in the denominator. So this is, the answer was -6. Remember F. Are there going to be multiple choice questions? Mm-hmm. But mostly. It's going to be a mix. It's like half and half. All right, now let's talk. I'm going to circle. I need you to circle 21 and 22. Because this one doesn't have a number. So if I don't have a number, the graphing calculator cannot help. Okay, you have to just substitute. You have to understand that our x, because the function is 12 over x, right? So our x here is a. So I'm going to substitute. Oops, sorry. We're going to substitute so that it's 12 over, and we're substituting the a in place of x. So the answer is just 12 over a. You're not going to have a number answer. It's just going to be an expression. So if I was doing g sub x, which I know my g function was the negative 3x plus 1, so 3 parentheses plus 1. Because I have inside this parentheses b plus c, that represents what I'm substituting, I'm writing that expression b plus c inside of the parentheses. No, you can't do this with a calculator. Yeah. I think there's one no number, but I think it's multiple choice. All right, so here we have to, yeah. So negative 3b minus 3c plus 1. You just distribute to simplify it. That is the final answer. You can't, they're not like terms, so you can't combine them. Okay. All right. That's your answer. The expression. All right. Now I will give you a table, and you have to give me the answers using the table. Okay. So remember, the first row is your input, is your x values right here. This is your x. That represents what's inside the parentheses. Okay. So you would have to look at the x column and then find your output, find your y. The f of x here is the same as y, the output. So this is your input, this is your output. So we need to find when the function f of negative 3. Right here, here's the negative 3 on the table. So what's our answer? Yep, 2. Done. All right. What about f of 20? Yep, the answer is 0. Good. F of 8. And then f of a negative 1. Yeah, does not exist. Yeah. Do you have a negative 1 on the x row? No. So you cannot answer it. I think some of you might miss that, how I explained that. Okay. If the number is not in the table, then you cannot answer it. Yeah, does not exist. All right. Now, if the function of x equals 9, what is x? So this, guys, represents the y value. So now look at the second row. Find when the y is 9. Yeah. So that means x equals 2. Yes, 28 right here. X equals 9 and x equals 8. There's 2 answers. X is 20. Yes, good. Okay. All right. Now, we're taking that concept for topic 6. They want you to find the x when given the function. So there's 2 ways we can do this. I'm going to give you a little note. The first way, one method is to write the equation. So write equation and solve for x. Okay. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to show that method first. So if I know g sub x is this negative 3x plus 1, but if g sub x equals 16, I want to find x. That means this 16, I'm plugging in front of the equation. So this is 16 equals negative 3x plus 1. Now we're just solving for x. So you would have to add 1, subtract 1 on both sides. 15 equals negative 3x, yeah. Divided by negative 3. Negative 5 is our x. So that's using pencil paper. Plug in the value and solve for x. That's all we're doing, okay? Now, the other method is use your calculator, okay? So to do that, you have to do y equals and then second graph,
So you do
okay?
negative 3x plus 1, and then you look for 16.
You look for 16 in the y value. So you do second graph and you have to look
For 16 in the
at
graph.
y column or y values. Yeah. So if I was like, I can do the second method on number 31. I'm going to do y equals 12 divided by x. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going y equals 12 divided by x. I got that in. I go to my graph. I'm trying to find
16.
the value of x when we get a negative 2, right? Was that what it was, negative 2? I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so right now I got to keep going up. Keep going up. Here it is. So negative 6 is our answer, yeah. Don't look at the x, look at the y first, and then x is your answer. GC, yes. So here x equals negative 6, and you choose GC. So let's try that for this example here. Let's try that method. Which do you want to do, the calculator, or you want to do pencil and paper? Okay, so we need to write x squared plus 7 in the calculator. So go y equals, clear this out. We're doing x squared. Oops, I did that wrong. X squared plus 7. Yes, do second graph, and we're looking for 23 in the y column to find the x.
Negative 23. I'll be done in regular.
Yeah, regular 23.
Negative 4.
There's two answers. Did you see it?
Oh, negative 4.
And positive 4, yeah.
So x equals negative 4.
So if you were to only put one, that'd be
Oh, yeah, x equals negative 4.
Yeah, if there's two answers, yeah, you only get half. Yes. Yeah. Okay, negative 4 and positive 4. Try the last one. J sub x is 2x plus 9. And we need to find, oops, I went to graph. I need to go to the table. Okay, we need to find the value of x when the function is 45. So I gotta scroll down. What'd y'all get? 18? Yep. Yeah, x equals 18. Yep. Yeah. All right. So now we're just putting it all together. So I'm gonna give you the function. You gotta remember that's just the same thing as y equals the negative 2x plus 5. I'm gonna tell you what numbers to use in your table. So you're gonna go to y equals negative 2x plus, yeah, you look for the numbers I'm telling you, yeah, on the table. So when, oops, I gotta go up. Because I told you I wanted the values when x is 0, 1, 3, and 5, okay? So I gotta go down a little bit more. So at 0, we got 9, 7, 3, and negative 1. Yeah, you gotta put only the ones I'm telling you in the table. So
9, 7, 3.
Wait.
What?
No.
Yeah, negative 1 was 4.
oh, hold on. Hold on, I didn't type the equation in right. Yeah, it was plus 5, not plus 9. Sorry.
I did get it.
Sorry, I didn't type the equation right. It was plus 5, not plus 9.
Negative 1, okay, so 3, negative 1, negative 5.
So 5 here, right? Then this is 3, negative 1, negative 5. So I'm gonna check that you have the values in your table right, then I need to see that you can graph them. So this is like an order pair, x comma y. Your x-axis is your horizontal axis. The y-axis is the vertical axis. So if I'm plotting this point 0, comma 5, 0 is the origin, so that's 0, so I just count up 5. This is our point 0, 5. So if I'm doing the next point, which is 1, 3, that's to the right 1 and then up 3. 3, negative 1.
That's the, oh no, that's to the right 3 and the down 1.
Yeah. And then 5, negative 5.
5 to the right and down 5.
Mm-hmm. And that's the second part. Are we okay on tables and graphs? Okay. All right. So our last skill, or this is also part of table and graphs. So if you look at 30, I think it's 36. Yeah. Okay, so you got to understand your vocabulary to apply it. So since this is the range of the, find the range of the function y equals 3 fourths x plus 17 when the domain is negative 12, negative 4, negative 8. Because right here, I'm just going to underline, find the range. That means the y values. And the domain is, that represents the x values. So here's a shortcut how you can do this. It's just create a table, x, y. If I give you the x values, that's what you're putting in the x column, a negative 12, negative 4, and 8. Then go to your calculator where your y equal is given, put that in the calculator. Y equals 3 fourths x plus 17. Type that in the calculator, and now we can get the range for those values. So you have to go to y equals and put that in the calculator, and then look at your table.
Divided by 4?
3 fourths x plus 17.
3 divided by 4 is 9.
Yeah, no, 3x divided by 4 plus 17.
Oh, 3x divided by 4.
And then look at your table. Did anyone get the y, the values here?
Yes.
What do you have, Deshaun?
Negative 12 is 8.
Uh-huh.
Negative 4 is 14.
Positive 14? Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
8 is 23.
Yep, there it is.
Oh,
14 is 24.
Okay.
And that's just the answer?
And that's our answer, yeah. All right, and then our last thing from functions is function notation with graphs. So understand this little jagged line here is the function. Okay? F of a negative 2, this negative 2 represents the x value. So on the x-axis, you might want to do this with me. Find your negative 2 and then go and plot the point where it touches the actual line, the function.
Oh.
So at f of a negative 2, what's the value of the function up here?
4.
Yeah, equals 4. You have to go 4 units up.
Negative 1 is
3
Yeah, 3.5 is in between. So negative 1 is 3.5.
3.
0 is 3. Good.
And then 2. Negative 1.
Negative 1. Good. Okay. So I'm going to jump to number 40. So again, we have like this jagged line, which is the function. We're finding the value of the function at x is a negative 3. So this is the origin. I got to count to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And then go up and touch that graph. I went up 2. So that's the answer. Let's try this. Find your f of negative 2. Yep, you would go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, try. Don't copy. Don't wait for me to put the answer. Try to get it off the graph, and then you write your answer and you check it with each other.
Negative 1,
Yeah.
2, 0, 0.
For negative
That's
one,
what
I got negative 1.
So negative 4 for 2.
So negative 1, did you get 2?
2.
Yeah, this was 2. 0 is 0. And then if I go over 2, you're so close. It wouldn't be negative, right? Because you went down.
Negative 4.
Yeah, negative 4. Because if you go down, that's negative. Okay. All right. So this is going forward and backwards. Okay. Let's put it all together. F of 2.
2 is going to be 12.
So yeah, here's your 2 right here. Go up. Yes, it's at 12. What is the function, or what's the x? What is the x when the function is 3? This 3, guys, is the y value. So you have to go here. Yeah, so 0.5. Good. Now we're looking for 3.5.
18.
Yep, this is 18.
Yes.
And what is the x value when it's 9?
So you just go up until you find the total.
Yeah.
You go somewhere where it's